Hey everyone, and welcome to the One Team We Agree On. I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and happy MLS Schedule Day.
Yes.
So, if you guys didn't know, today the MLS released all the team schedules for the 2023 season. So, we decided with the holiday season, as I know everybody's running around getting ready for family gatherings and all that, we decided to take a little time tonight and kind of review the Philadelphia Union's 2023 regular season schedule. But before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Wearing the 2022 playoff snake shirt.
And I am wearing the 2020 Sons of Ben. I think this was actually last year. We got this Shield t-shirt we got at one of the awesome tailgates. Again, if you guys go to these tailgates, they have some awesome. You can only get them at tailgates. You can't get them at the team store. Sometimes they'll have certain items online, but a lot of times they sell out at these tailgates. So again, that's another reason to get to these tailgates throughout the year. So, but before we go ahead, make sure if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe and interact. I guess our question of the day is we'd like to know what games first you're most excited about with the 2023 season, but also what road games are you planning on attending this year? I saw a lot of people today on social media just planning out their schedule already. So I think we're gonna have a large following of away supporters this year, which is awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk more about that. But and then if you're following on Spotify, again, please make sure to comment again on the questions of the day. And if you haven't followed us, subscribe. And then we are also on social media, Twitter. We are at TOTWAG. That's the One Team We Agree On. And then the One Team We Agree On, all one word, on Facebook and Instagram. So let's go ahead and get started. And so, first thoughts, Jillian, when you looked at the schedule.
Well, first of all, I was looking to see if we'd be playing like Salt Lake or Seattle, and bummer, because
Yeah.
we were looking to maybe travel to one of those if we happen to be playing them away. But my first thought was, February 25th. We're gonna freeze our butts off again.
Yeah.
Woo!
It'll
And
be
it's a
fun.
night game.
It'll be a fun time,
Yeah, I'm
though.
gonna miss the day games, honestly. No, it'll be fun. But so we got Columbus that first game. Um, but of course, as everyone knows, we just pretty much all have Saturday or Wednesday games. And you know, I mean, for the most part, there's a couple outliers there, but um, for those with kids, I know I've seen complaints, from some about, oh,
Right.
that's going to be late night for their kids. And, I get that. That's a bummer. Um, but overall, I'm like, okay, we got some good games, to do. That's for sure. And, you know, my first thought was, ooh, which away ones are we going to do? That's the question.
And we're definitely going to discuss that.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, looking at the schedule, when it first came out, I was sitting there thinking, kind of like you, okay, what West Coast
Mm-hmm.
way games are we gonna have in the Western Conference? There's a couple, but like you said, no Seattle,
Mm-hmm.
no Austin for me, no Real Salt
Mm-hmm.
Lake. You know, I was kind of like, but then as I started digesting this, I'm like, oh, this is actually an interesting schedule. I mean, you got Colorado away.
And then
Yeah,
I was like, oh, mark September 23rd down.
yeah,
Ooh, LA rematch time.
we will have a nice rematch there on September 23rd with LAFC. I think for me, the front half, when I look at those first six games, to me, those are all point getters. You can
Mm-hmm.
get all good, get points. Obviously, Columbus is going to be a great test that first game. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to be a good team, obviously, with Wilfred Nancy taking the helm now for Montreal. Um, two away games at Miami and Montreal. I mean, we can definitely get points there. We can get points from, I think Sporting KC, Orlando, and Chicago for sure. The interesting thing to me is then that comes that next set of 4 games. You got away at Cincinnati, away at Chicago again, home to Toronto. Toronto's going to be really good. And then you're going to a Red Bulls game. And so we're looking at all these games, but then I started saying to myself, it's really hard to dictate because number one, we have the super draft tomorrow. Two, we're still not done with all free agent signings and
Mm-hmm.
all, roster decisions. Number three, the transfer window hasn't even opened yet. So there's
Mm-hmm.
still incoming, outcoming.
A lot of
So
question marks still.
exactly. So it's really hard to kind of say right now. So I'm going to hold off on predictions till probably towards the beginning of the season. We can do a prediction show, but that next 4 games definitely has the potential for us to really set the tone of, okay, this is the team. Plus, you're going to have the, CONCACAF Champions League, CCL coming in. Probably Open Cup's going to start in May, US Open Cup, and then you have leagues. I think then after that little stretch there, we kind of settle into it. I mean, then you hit that July stretch of Atlanta, then LA on the road, then Nashville on the road, and then you come back with NYCFC at home. That's a real tough stretch there in July. July's gonna be tough, and then we go into Leagues Cup, and then you come off of that, and then from August, really Toronto on the road till New England, October. That could potentially, because you got Toronto, you got Red Bull, you got Cincinnati, you got Charlotte on the road, you got LAFC, then you got Columbus on the road, home against Atlanta, home against Nashville, and then on the road. So for me, when I first digest this, you got to get the points in the front half of the season.
Yeah, because you look at some of those opponents like towards the end, and what shape are we going to be in?
Where are we
where are
going
we
to
going to
be?
be at?
Where
So
we're
that'll
going to
be
be on the
interesting.
table. I look at all that and I say to myself, what do we got, going on? So I think our easiest stretch is definitely that front half of the season. I think probably our toughest stretch is July and then probably September, for sure. Those are our two toughest stretch. But let's talk about some fun stuff here. What about road trips this year? Where are we looking at going this year?
Yeah. So last season we went to NYCFC at Yankee Stadium. We went to DC and we went to the Red Bulls. So we're looking to, those are the kind of games, yeah, like they're easy, day trips, and we're always open to going to those. But we're looking at, okay, what's a good like travel game to go to, or a place that we haven't been to yet? So, I mean, there's ones that stand out to me, like, well, Colorado is one that I would love to, visit, that, or like Nashville.
I
I'd
I
like to go to Nashville,
I think
possibly.
those are the two that are on my schedule because number one, I
Hmm.
can go see my mentor out there in Colorado. We could spend maybe
Yeah, a coach that we know lives out in
yeah,
Colorado.
guy brought me up through the coaching ranks, lives out there now. And then Nashville, I know you really want to go to that. Um, I think Columbus is an
Hmm.
option this that late in the season. That's a Saturday night game. And then I think DC is an easy one for us.
Yeah.
We can just get down there. And then maybe like I thought about Atlanta, it's 4th of July weekend. I mean, that's kind of torn. I think those are the three. If we do, those are the three we would have to travel to. But yeah, those are like outside DC, probably Colorado,
Hmm.
Nashville, and then we fill in the gaps as we go along in the
Hmm.
season. Um,
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a weekday during my first week of school, because I'm a teacher, like I love to do something like Toronto, like,
I
go
know.
visit Canada. I've been in Toronto once. That was on a high school like trip. And we didn't really get to do much like besides go
Right.
perform. So that's what, like, I would love to go to like Montreal or Toronto, and um do one that's just to, go visit Canada too. Like that'd be cool. I'd love to see Montreal, to be honest. Like
I've
that's a
been
city
there.
I'd like to see.
I've been there, and I will say this, folks: if you want to go to an early away game, go to Montreal. March, I don't know if the gardens are going to be able, they have phenomenal gardens, phenomenal food. It's just a really
Hmm.
cool town to walk around and spend time. I love Montreal. I've been there 3 times. I don't think I've been there since like the early 2000s when I go up to visit my uncle in Vermont. So,
Yeah, that's just not one we'd be able to go to. Got swim meet that weekend. That's height of our championship season, but
yeah.
um,
The other
yeah.
one, I think Colorado would be great for fans,
Hmm.
especially if you're an outdoor fan. That's in May. It's still, it's good
Hmm.
weather. Mud, rain season's kind of getting past there. Most of the snow's melted. So, I mean, that'd be a good time to go. That'd be another good trip, especially if you want to get on a hike. Make that a 4-day trip if you've never been to Colorado.
I mean, I've only been to the Denver airport. That doesn't really count on a layover.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one I'd like to see probably the most.
An outlier for me, just based on flights right now, I'm seeing is that April 15th date in Chicago
I'd
from
like to see Chicago. I've only been at Midway, on layover again. So
I've been out there many
I know you
times,
have.
but I think if you're looking for a cheap trip, especially from Philly and BWI, there's some good deals. And
Hmm.
one of my side gigs is I also do small time travel agents. Like I was looking on some of my portals today. There are some good deals right now. So if you're gonna
Hmm.
book, don't wait. That's just my tip for you
Hmm.
guys. Um, try some of the major travel sites. There's some good stuff going on right now with travels. Don't wait till the new year. So overall, I think it's a balanced schedule. I like it. And I think it's gonna set us up well.
Hmm.
But now I don't know if you saw, I sent you this, but I guess about the MLS postseason real quick. You saw that
Mm.
tweet I sent you. Pablo Iglesias Maurer tweeted today appears to be in motion. Plans, I am told, for a total overhaul of the MLS postseason,
Hmm.
featuring a World Cup style competition. 8 teams advance in each to a group stage, and then top 8 stage finishers advance a single elimination bracket. I saw rumors of this earlier. I think he was the one that kind of was saying they were discussing it. I know the
Hmm.
Athletic had dropped an article. It was really weird. Like from
Hmm.
what I've read, it's like okay, top 8 teams each division, and then it's 2 brackets per conference. So you
Hmm.
have like bracket A, bracket B, and then bracket A,
Hmm.
bracket B, and then like the top 2 teams have like 2 home games, 1 road game, and then the bottom 2 have 1 home game, 3 away games, I believe. Which to me is like, okay, then really, what's the point? I mean,
Yeah.
like, so we're gonna do a World Cup style. To me, this just feels like Apple was saying to them, "Hey, we paid all this money. We want to see more games," and so
Mhm.
like the MLS is getting pressured.
Okay, so if they're trying to be more like how the rest of the world does soccer, basically, why don't they actually go by goal differential in the standings?
Hey, that helped us against Nashville last year.
Mhm. Just
So
saying.
I get it. I get it. And then you get in the whole pro rel talk and why is there a playoff? And it's
Hmm.
slippery slope. To me, I think we've now come to the point we come off the best MLS Cup
Hmm.
probably in as this league has grown, probably in a while. So
Yeah, and by the way, what an epic World Cup. I mean,
yeah.
and what I found interesting was, of course, I had grapes about, ending the MLS Cup on PKs. Okay. And a lot of the casual viewers of that even were also like, how the heck are you ending, deciding that with PKs? And then I heard the same things with the World Cup. Like people were like, no wonder people don't care about soccer. It's like deciding the World Series with, a home run derby, or kicking field goals for the Super Bowl. And I agree. It's dumb. I'd rather, just do sudden death or something, to be honest.
I mean, I get that
But,
argument. I guess
yeah.
for me, it is an exciting way. It was an exciting way to end the World Cup. I mean, yeah, it stinks. I get
Mhm.
that. But I mean, yes, sudden death's one thing, but I think, you run the tradition. But getting back to
Mhm.
that topic, I really hope they don't change it.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna hold my breath on it,
Yeah, same.
but I just hope they don't mess it up because that really could mess up. I mean, how are you going to explain to somebody that doesn't understand soccer as a casual fan why are we doing it this way now?
Yeah.
Like they had like the two legs there for a long
Mhm,
time. Then they went to single elimination
mhm.
playoff, which, okay, that's fine. Now we're gonna go to this style. Like,
I think the way we've been doing it's better. I mean, because honestly, we're trying to build like the fan bases and stuff here and get more people
100%.
interested in it. And I think people that are more casual fans can relate to the playoff system we currently
Correct.
have in place. It's way more like how, football teams, how, some base, just like with these playoffs, it's a little bit, well, maybe more like football games, but, just I think it's a little bit easier for people to follow with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for right now, I mean, it's just out there. So, it's one of those things, you just monitor the situation.
Mhm.
I think if something comes down pen on paper, then we'll discuss it more. But so yeah, those are our thoughts. We just wanted to drop a quick episode and just kind of give you guys our thoughts on that. Oh, one last thing. Joe Bendik re-signed with
Yes.
the union.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah. I mean, he's good depth there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he has good stuff. We saw him, you know, in that game against Pachuca, and
he did
he had
well.
yeah, he played real well. I mean,
If
solid backup.
if you look at his career statistics, he is exactly that. He's an average MLS goalkeeper.
Mhm,
He's not flashy. He's not great, but I think he brings you veteran leadership,
mhm,
obviously, which I've always been a fan of.
mhm,
Him and Blake can really bring along Freeze and some of these other people. He's a team player, good locker room presence,
mhm,
and he's serviceable for a game or two. If
mhm.
you two's out there and Freezes with them, and Blake's on international duty,
Yeah.
I mean, I trust him for a game or two. I mean, at least he's not going to, there's a lot worse options than Joe
Mhm.
Bendik out there
Yeah.
as MLS starting goalkeeper. So for him to say, "Hey, I want to stay in Philly," rather than he can go to some team and probably compete for a starting job, a lower level bottom of the league
Mhm.
team, but he wants to stay in Philly, wants to be part of that, and that's a credit to the coaching staff and to the locker room, and I think he's going to be, he loves Philly. So
Mhm.
um, anyway, that's all the time we have for today. So we're going to talk about the Apple TV deal, but we're going to cut this short because, again, it is the holiday season. We can come back to that at a later date. I do have some thoughts on some of the TV stuff with
Mhm.
outside the Apple streaming, but you know, so and then with holidays, we might have another episode, a fun episode, but if not, everybody have a very safe and happy holiday season. Hopefully next week we'll drop a couple another episode or two,
We might
depending.
have to share what union swag we might get for Christmas
Yes, we're definitely gonna do that,
because that's probably happening.
and probably just some other little tidbits and maybe some other thoughts on the schedule. But
Yeah, of course, all I want for Christmas
I know all you want for Christmas
is
is stew.
stew.
All right.
Yeah,
So until next time, I'm Kyle,
I'm Jillian.
and this has been an all new episode. What episode? We're up at episode 5 now.
Wow.
Yeah, 5 episodes already. So we'll see you guys next time on the
The one
one
team
team
we
we
agree
agree on.
on.